So, welcome to this episode with Connie of People, Their Passion and Purpose. Thank you so much for being here, listening to us discuss. And Connie, thank you so much for coming on to my show.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I think that, Connie, you have a story to tell and you have an experience to share, and I think people need to hear about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that you will give hope and you will share an experience that maybe people would like to hear for sure.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay, great. So Connie and I met through Ami Quebec, and which is an organization that helps people with family members that live with mental health issues. And would you like to tell us a little bit about, your story, what you've been through? It's a story of resilience. It's a story of self-awareness.
Sure. I deal with mental health challenges. Today I'm not sure how to say it. We always have all these phrases, right? And it's been a struggle. It started in teenage years. The only thing is that I did not know until much later in life. So it's been a challenge just because I was older too. I've been doing well. There's a lot of work you have to do. You can't just take a pill. It doesn't work that well. Not most people. It doesn't. So and I ended up. I guess I can tell my story with Ami. Is that years? Oh my goodness. Let me start by saying, October I celebrated 20 years that I've been involved with Ami.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I came.
I know you from the beginning.
Yes.
Because I've been with Emmy for a really long time.
Yes, and I remember meeting your mom, and I knew about Annie and Cosmetics, but when I met her in person, it was quite a treat.
That's nice. Thank you.
So, and so very nice to have been getting to know you too.
Yeah.
So I ended up coming to Ami for myself to do a workshop.
Okay.
It was recommended from one of my, what do you call it, occupational therapist.
Okay.
And so I came to Ami having no idea what I was getting into. It was quite interesting, and then it just evolved that someone called me and asked me to sit on a committee. And I'm like,
that's nice.
Yeah, it was called the Advocacy Committee years ago. But I was like, I was not as stable, but I didn't understand what it was, and I didn't know why they're asking me. I have nothing to offer. And it just evolved into that. From there, that's how I came to Ami. And I stayed on and off with different
functions.
ways. Yes. And a while back, I realized, I said to myself, why did I choose Ami and not an organization that works directly with a person who has mental health challenges, right?
Right.
And I thought about it, and I think the reason it took me a long time to realize that is I think I needed to see the other side.
Right.
I didn't want it to be focused, it's on me, it's on me. And you know what? I think it's made a difference in seeing what the caregiver goes through, even though sometimes I have to say it was very frustrating because I wanted to say, you don't understand, but it really helped.
Right. So it's interesting. That's where when I mentioned the self-awareness, that's where the self-awareness comes in, And I guess you wanted to know how your family was doing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I'm pretty lucky because my parents were there for me from day one. We had a family friends that are psychologists, and they explained what was going on. And they said to them, you can't do this, you can't do that. But so I never felt like I was damaged or I was, they just supported me, which was quite amazing,
So they were accepting
yes,
of you.
That's the word. Not like, no. I mean, along the way, it was rough, because you understand you have different symptoms. And so you could be, people think it's just depressed, but you could be anxious, you could be very agitated, sometimes a little aggressive, but you don't know all those. And they never, they just stood by me. But they never coddled to say, we're going to do everything, that's it. No, when I needed the help, they were there. But when they saw that I was doing well, they pulled back.
Okay. So so when you were more independent and things like that, they let you be independent.
Yes, they didn't. Yes.
But when you needed them. And so I have a question. Did they ask you if you wanted help, or did you go over to them and say, I need your help, or did they just know when?
They knew when.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they knew.
So you were in a situation where it was very out in the open, it was understood, and you kind of worked together as a team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they couldn't come to the doctors or things like that because I'd have to explain too much.
Okay.
I mean, they're bilingual, but not in the same.
Okay.
It's a lot of explaining. But
Right.
you know what? I didn't need that from them.
Right. Right.
So that was okay. And I have a great sister.
Okay.
Also. With the years, we've learned together what I've gone through, and you know, I put them through things. They haven't. Wasn't easy for them either.
Right. Can you share a couple of like incidences or things that have happened in the past that made it difficult for them and for you, or just to give people an idea
you know,
of what you go through,
yeah,
what you've been through?
The funny thing is that you know, there's all these symptoms. I don't know if that's the right word, but you go through when you go through depression, right? It's hard on people, but they can deal a little bit.
Okay.
Because they see that you're sad and they want to make. But when you're which you know, obviously you understand that when you're on the other side where the aggression takes over, the agitation, the anger, your outburst, but you don't know you're doing this, right? Because you believe all that. That's I think not.
So that's when you lose control. You feel like you lose control.
That's what I always feel, you know, that I'm losing control, but don't always know it at that moment. It feels so real, right? That all your thoughts are real, everything. So you believe, you know, your thoughts. You're believing that they're just looking at you, talking to you, and you think that they're staring. And why are you staring at me? You know, like all those kind of strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to. You don't know it really when you're in it, you know. But you learn with time. I think I sense things more now, you know. But not because I'm so perfect. It's because to get through this. Yes, you may take medication, but it's not about. You need to do a lot of things.
So when you keep saying that, and so I think people that are listening might be a little bit confused, because there's so much talk about medication, but you know, what are the types of things that you can do, whether you're on medication or not? You know, what are the types of things you can do, or that you have personally done to help yourself?
Well, I just want to say that I'm not talking medication is good or bad, okay? I'm just saying that it depends on what you need. There's medication, and it depends on you. Sometimes it's straightforward. As you're in a depression, you take some antidepressant, you may come out of it, okay? So I believe in both, just to make sure.
So let's just make it clear.
Yeah.
Like every single person has a different experience.
Of course, that's what I want to make sure. So I'm not here advocating for or against.
You're talking about your experience.
Right. So with me, I think I was afraid that I was always going to be that way. So when they would suggest something, I said, okay, here. So it could be from seeing a psychologist.
Okay.
To there's art therapy.
So is that what you do? These are things
I've done all. Yes, I tried everything.
I just want to make sure we're talking about what you do.
Oh yes.
Okay,
therapy, art therapy, community or community workers. Those are amazing. You know, I've done so many different forms of things, and I never really stop. Like I'll go for a while, but I never really stop because it's an ongoing, and I don't want to go back.
So it's like, it's consistency basically. It's like everyone talks about consistency now, you know. It's just a consistent in a different way.
Yes.
For a different topic and a different thing. It's like you're constantly taking care of yourself and making sure that you're going to be okay.
Yes.
With I don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back.
I don't want to go back.
I don't want to be that paralyzed or missing out on life. Like It's
Yeah.
not the big things, it's the little things like, oh,
Like what?
just simple. I know it's gonna sound, but just being able to get up in the morning and look at the day and know that you're actually gonna go outside. You're gonna get dressed. For me, it's very important. You know, put my lipstick on. Get doesn't matter where or what. Those are the little things, and I feel myself, and I'm feeling part of society. Um, you know, and you know, it's not about, oh, you see, I missed out on vacation. No, not, yes, of course it is, but it's also that I'm getting up in the morning and I'm just feeling some kind of contentment and expressing myself in the way I dress or my jewelry or whatever. And it's like, oh, I'm able to do that where I couldn't do anything except be locked up in a house in the dark.
So, yeah, it's like on all different levels, and gratitude is great. Gratitude is really
I don't
great
know, I
that
didn't
you
think
can
of it
do
that way.
But it is. It's,
okay.
you're grateful to be able to wake up in the morning because you've been in the dark. Can you talk about the dark a little bit?
It really is dark. It's you don't know what's going on. You know, you can go from totally being, you know, I hate using words like psychosis or whatever. I don't even know what it was. Completely like blacked out, in a total despair. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but the depression gets.
You're not exaggerating.
Okay.
You're sharing what your experience is. Don't worry.
It's so dark. It's so, you know, you don't know if it's worth getting up every morning. Is it worth even being, you know, so I don't.
Worth even being
here. Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah.
Have you had suicidal thoughts?
Yes. Oh my God, you're making me say things I've never said before. Sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't think I'd ever. I hope this helps somebody because I'm not all the. This is not my thing to be on display.
Well, you know.
Sorry.
Is it okay that I said it?
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
if not, no, I can end it.
No, I have
okay,
to say to you that is a word that nobody wants to say. And what people don't understand is that when somebody's having any thought, it's good to say the word to them, but nobody wants to say it.
It's very hard for people to understand. Like it's very hard for people to understand that word, like having suicidal thoughts and feeling like you shouldn't be alive. So the fact that you had that, you know, and you're here with us today and you're sharing your story, it's like,
oh my God, I can't believe I'm sharing this.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
It's
so let's continue. Yeah.
You know, when you asked me, I said yes. And then I said, oh my God, I have to be telling. I don't tell too much of my story in public because no matter how I you know, how I work so hard against stigma, that I always say, if I say it, then I'm not going to be looked at. I'm going to be looked at as different, damaged, or crazy. Right. Yeah. But I think maybe I'm talking here today because your forum is different, and it's the people that are probably watching are not going to be judgmental.
No, and they're going to learn.
That's what I think.
And if they are being judgmental, they're behind. Like, you're not going to see them anyways, and who cares? You know, it's also
it's like
you're helping.
It's also, you always worry, like, did I say too much? Then what if my family found, like, are they, you know? But then it's not, because that's not who they are. But maybe I might help one person, 100%. Just like I've been helped along the way.
Exactly. Yeah. So okay, so then let's continue. But this is great insight. Really nice.
You.
So my question to you is, when you were in that dark space, I guess this happened like a few times.
Yeah.
Okay. And so do you remember, like, on average, you know, how long would they last? Is there some sort of average number? And then also, like, how did you start to see a bit of light? Like, how did that happen? Because I'm trying to imagine, you know.
It's first of all, yes. In the beginning, they would last a long time. It could be like months of really, you know, being like that. And then I guess, even though I was like that, in between a lot of times I was either, I'd have to go to an appointment. So, but I was always taken because I couldn't, that's why I'm so grateful to my parents. They understood enough that I couldn't do it by myself. I couldn't get in the car. I couldn't, and I think, because I think I never stopped like going to things, maybe that's what it is. And how does it come out of the light? I always think about that. It's not like you wake up, it's like, it's in increments.
Right. Okay.
And then all of a sudden you realize, okay, I passed this, but it's like in little increments, and in the beginning I wasn't really sure, but I think later why it would be short, because of all the things I did, I learned things, triggers, that's the only reason, not because I'm smarter or better, it's only because I learned all that through all the different types of therapies. So you learn about triggers, you learn, okay, breathe, reach out, why you feeling like that. And so I know it's not very clear what I'm saying, but that's how I would, and then as the years got shorter, but the difference today is, I always say, is it better that I know so much, or is it worse?
I mean, I would say better.
Yeah.
I think better.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, when you talk about little increments, and like when every time you came, it seems to me that every time you came out of it, you went to learn something new. And so then that new education about yourself and about how to deal with things just kept piling up and piling up.
Yeah.
So that the time sort of became less because you had the tools.
That's it.
Right?
Yes, I like the way you're putting it.
Okay.
Yes.
So you had the tools to get out of it, and you had your supportive family, of course, and a good friend. Because it helps to have, I have a friend that she's been in my life, I don't even know, forever. Yeah.
And she, even if she never said anything, I did the support, of somebody else. Because your family's one thing.
Do you want to thank her?
Yes.
Say thank you too?
My bestie. I'm not going to say her name, because she knows.
Okay.
If she watches it, thank you, bestie.
Okay.
It's different. Your family's your family, but your friend has a different perspective. And knowing that I was never going to be judged, and actually...
No, keep going. Don't worry about it.
Being encouraged was one of the best things ever, to have that encouragement. And she still does it today, she'll still say, okay, let's do this. I know it might be... And so, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that, to me, sounds like the resilience, right? Like, you built up your resilience.
Yes.
Okay, you got more and more resilient.
More tools. You're saying it's so right. It's the tools.
Yeah. And the tools helped you become more resilient.
Yes.
So, like I said at the beginning, you have the self-awareness and the resilience. Like this... And the tools gave you strength. Yes,
and you kind of know that it's time to reach out again.
Okay.
So like you go, the pandemic was like, the most overwhelming, and so I was getting like support. Then it stopped for a while because I was doing, but then I noticed there's something, so I went back to get some more support. But it doesn't mean that you have to go to the psychiatrist or it's just, simple, like a community worker, somebody you meet for coffee once a week, and you just kind of say how you're doing.
Right.
And that's...
Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, get it out.
Yes, and that's...
Share it.
And then you get more tools, right? Because they listen to you. It's not therapy. It's more of an encouragement.
Right. Interesting. And so you're learning about yourself. Again, back to the self-awareness. You know how to read yourself.
Yeah, you don't always like what you're reading, but anyway.
Yeah. but you can't close the book.
No.
You got to keep it open.
I don't want to sound Pollyanna, because sometimes people think that. No. It's that I personally do not want to live. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's why I think sometimes I get angry that I have to fight, because I'm like, I don't want to be back there. I don't want to miss out on life.
That's wonderful that you don't want to miss out on that.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want to miss. I want to be
Good.
able to enjoy this stage of my life and all the wonderful things that we have a new baby in the family, and
Nice.
I want to be a happy like, and it's like, it's funny, every time I feel a bit, I open up my phone and scroll through his videos and pictures, and I feel better.
Good. That's good. I want to ask you something. So, with all your experience that you have, being involved with AMI Quebec, which mostly deals with the families, but does have also programs for people with
Right.
mental health issues. What do you think? What do you think you bring to the table, and vice versa? What do you think the AMI brings to you?
Oh,
It's not that I want to talk about AMI Quebec. I
No,
want
no,
I
no.
want to talk about your work,
okay.
what you do every day.
Oh,
So-
that's easy.
Okay, great.
That's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay.
First of all, I have to say shout out to Ella. Okay.
Ella is the executive director of AMI Quebec.
The belief she has in
She's
me,
unbelievable.
and not looking at what, she's just looking at me and what I could offer.
So you mean she's not looking at what you think is your mental health issue? She's not looking at that. She's at your diagnosis or whatever. She's looking at Connie.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and she allowed me to be able to be part of something, part of a team, and be productive in at my pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say anything more than thank you to her. It makes me emotional because, but she gave me this chance, but she also doesn't treat me with kid gloves, like, oh,
Right.
well, no.
Right.
No, I have to be responsible. I have to, fulfill what, so.
Yeah.
But to be looked at that you are capable, and then understanding at times, I may have some challenges,
Right.
and they're not used against me. Oh, well,
It's like a really amazing situation for you.
Yeah, it's the best thing. I think if I didn't have this during the COVID, I don't know if I would have.
Yeah.
How I would have dealt, but that kept me. Every day I know that I'm going to be contributing. Hopefully, maybe once a day I actually do help someone. I don't know.
Right.
Yes. So that part there, it's like it's part of my life, but it's a major, wonderful part of my life.
So it's being a part of a community. It's contributing
Yes.
at your own pace.
Yes.
Those are really important.
Yes.
Okay.
And nobody sees me.
Right. Nobody sees you as a diagnosis. They see you as Connie.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And being accepted.
Right.
Also, I am a bit quirky. I'm eclectic. I never fit a mold, and it was always hard to be part because you're so different. And here it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's great. You are Connie. And that's why we love you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And so, what do you think that you bring to the table?
I think maybe my part of it could give like awareness and my experiences, and maybe I don't know, it's not direct, but maybe I think sometimes I'm involved with workshops and they ask questions, and we don't talk about me, maybe more people will know about me now, but what do I bring? I think being able to see the both sides and not being like, what good would it do me to always concentrate me, and you see this is how they feel about us and they don't see it, and instead, like, maybe I could say one or two words about what the person's going through that might help.
Right.
Just a little clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much. Maybe I think, I'm not sure if I'm being clear.
Could it be like, because you understand both sides to a certain extent, you're able to understand the people who are calling in for help?
I think so, a little bit more than I would have if I hadn't gone through.
And because you know a little bit about their suffering, you're able to, hold space for them and
I think,
and help them.
I think,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
sounds
makes
so
sense.
blind, but it's not.
No,
It's like,
it's very
it's like sometimes, you get a call from a family member, but they happen to be a parent, but is much older, right?
Mhm.
They might be already 70. So you're assuming their child is probably 50, let's say,
yeah,
and they feel shame.
right.
Well, because I'll, sometimes you just ask, how old are they? I don't need, just to find out where to go with it. And then
Right.
you can hear them like they have shame, like, yeah, I'm saying something. And you know what? I'm like, those poor people, they feel like they have shame because they're still helping. And I said, so the only thing I could say to them, I said, will you ever stop being a mother?
Right.
I said, it doesn't matter if you're 100 and your child is 80, you're still a mother. I said, so what you're feeling, I said, the pain is there. You're never going to lose. I go, I'm not a mother, but I don't think you ever lose that. So I think maybe sometimes just a little bit, because they have that thing like, oh, by now it should have been, I shouldn't be helping. I shouldn't be. I said, no, because you know what? Maybe you don't have to do everything for them, but I'm thinking of my family, right? So sometimes maybe today I still need a little help, right? Even though I'm a grown person. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't need everything, but that little bit, so I think maybe that's the thing I can get, or something like that.
It makes sense, and yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so as we wrap things up, let me ask you this, like moving forward and looking at the future of mental health and looking at the future of your relationship with mental health, what would you like to see in the future?
Well,
what do you hope for? What would you like to be an advocate of,
I'm starting to see it over the years, that people are a little bit more forthcoming with what they're dealing with. I think younger people don't have the same shame as much, and that's really important to me, is that young people, when things are starting to happen, that they don't feel shame and so I think any way I can advocate to just bring it to light, and also for not just the person, but also for families. They're so, they feel so closed off, because if their neighbor were to find out, oh my God, right? And I think that's it sounds so simple, it's not, because it's you've seen it over time, how much, and I think that's the most important thing, is that I want to see that if somebody's not doing so well, whatever it is, that they able to get help, but the system has changed a lot, thank goodness, and even the view of professionals, that's very important. I hope that view continues.
Okay, yeah.
And
good.
I just want to say one more thing.
Please.
We talked a lot about, mental health, but I'm not that only,
No, you're Connie.
Yeah, no, I want to say is I have passions that are outside of that, and I think maybe hopefully that when a person goes through something like this, that they get to a point that they can say, well, I am different, but that's who I am. I'm not there 100%, but I'm starting to feel like I don't really care what you think so much, because I'm never going to be in a mold.
Yeah. It also comes with age.
Yeah, you're right.
So, and actually I didn't even ask you if you had any, like what else you do for, do you have hobbies? Do you have just, it's just interesting.
I love reading.
Okay.
No, I know people say, no, I love books. If I could have a wish, is those British libraries?
Kind of. The ones I'm scared of, yeah.
With the leather chair and the ladders. If I could sit in a room full of books, that's like really everything. And I wish I could read fast, so I could read more books. And
that's amazing.
I just love books. I love the smell, the look. I have two e-readers. It's like books and it make me happy.
Fantastic.
I'll never finish reading what I have, but that's okay. And I love decorating and glitter and crafting.
Right. Yes. That's
sorry. As you could see.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I like makeup, and I like I think that gives joy, and I think I don't want to see dark. And I have to tell you one little thing. I always wore only black. Black. Yes, but for a different reason. Black in the summer, black. And then over the last 3 years, I'm wearing color. And I didn't see it. I didn't notice that I still love my black, don't get me wrong. But I didn't notice that I started having color. Like, this is a lot compared to, so I don't know. I think I want to see, oh yeah, you know what? I think I want to see things in color.
Yeah. Wow.
You're amazing.
This is amazing.
You should do this for a living. You made me say and do things I would have never thought.
Oh,
Forgive me for.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, you made me say and do
This
things.
is beautiful.
Oh, you're amazing, Charlie.
So, it's beautiful. So tell me one last thing. What are you reading now? And anything you would recommend to everybody?
Probably not.
So something you would recommend.
Okay. I love Jane Austen, yes, but I love anything to do with mysteries, thriller, anything I have to solve.
Okay.
I don't care, I can't read just a love story, no. I have to solve, so anything that's mystery thrillers.
Is there a really good one that you just finished? Nothing in particular.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so anything, and I watch everything to do with British mystery shows.
Okay. So have you been to London or?
Yes, I did. I was so lucky that years ago I got that opportunity to go.
Good. That's great. Connie, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So much. I really appreciate it. I think you brought a lot of goodness and a lot of hope, and thank you for sharing.
You're
your story.
amazing.
No.
I never knew I would talk so much.
That's what this is for.
Thank you.
Anyways, thank you so much for being at our podcast and listening up to their passion and purpose with Connie, the amazing Connie. She shared a lot about herself, so we really appreciate that, and we'll see you soon. Take care.